Welcome to Equal Entertainment. I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist. Britney Spears is going viral again with a new video where she's dancing with knives, and it was shocking enough to warrant a visit from police. In the caption, Spears claims the knives aren't real, but the Ventura County Sheriff's Office carried out a wellness check after someone close to Spears expressed concern for her well-being. Her security team told police there was no threat to her safety. Spears' attorney also spoke with police, saying there were no issues with her mentally, physically, or otherwise. Spooky season is upon us, and so is the newest installment in the Saw franchise. Saw 10 is now in theaters, and it is opening up with some impressive reviews. The first Saw movie came out way back in 2004, and nearly 20 years later, Saw 10 will visit the time period between the first two films. Saw is listed as fresh on Rotten Tomatoes with an 82% rating. The marketing campaign for the upcoming movie The Creator has gone viral. The team placed AI robots at sporting events and conferences, and now it's time for them to arrive in theaters. The Advocate Channel's Rachel Smith has more on what fans can expect.
I are developing a super weapon. Retrieve it, or they win.
Locate the weapon.
Yeah, it's just a kid.
Well, I have to really commend you because it is not often we see an original blockbuster of this magnitude. I mean, normally it's, an existing franchise or from other source material. So congratulations first and foremost on that. And where did this idea come from?
Well, I can't take full credit because the studio, hats off to the studio for financing this movie because it's becoming like an endangered species, it feels like, in the cinema. But the idea came from lots and lots and lots of films that I grew up with. I kind of put them all into a melting pot and stirred it, and never expected AI as the central theme of the movie to become what it has become in the last year. We kind of started writing this 4 years ago, and it was supposed to be this science fiction, fantasy, faraway thing we might never experience, and it's right here today. It's so strange.
Looks like a little girl now, but she's growing. Whoever has that kid wins the war.
Whose side you want, huh?
And like you mentioned, I mean, this theme is so timely right now. You've got these, battles on the big screen right now when a real-life war is being waged in Hollywood. So how do you kind of reconcile what's taking place within the industry?
Well, we actually have. It's really weird. When we were filming, we actually had people in our movie protesting AI with signs. And there's a whole little sequence that we shot. And it felt like such a silly thing to do. I really liked it, but it was like, no one's ever going to protest AI. Like, this is such a sci-fi thing, Gareth. Like, let it go. And we spent all this money and shot this thing. And then whilst we were editing, I live around, on the way to the studio, you've got these banners and people are actually trying to ban AI, or at least against it, and it's so. Science fiction's not supposed to predict the future; it's supposed to prevent it.
What do you want, sweetie?
For robots to be free.
Oh, we don't have that in the fridge. How about ice cream?
Let me ask you, how do you think your work with Star Wars impacted this project in a way that fans will really embrace?
You learn a lot from every movie you do. I think one of the things that was really proud of with that film is that we shot in some real locations. Like typically on a movie, you're lucky to escape the studio like a handful of times. And on this movie, I was like, I want to do every single scene in a real location around the world. And so we went to 80 different locations.
You can tell.
We shot in 8 different countries. It was insane.
A fantastic job. It's entirely entertaining. I love its original. As I leave you, from Las Vegas, what is your all-time favorite Vegas movie?
Oh, crikey. I'll tell you my favorite thing to do in Vegas.
Okay.
I'm a massive fan of Area 51. And I actually drove, when I was making Star Wars, we drove to Area 51 and had this very surreal experience where this light beamed down and hit the mountains. And I actually stole that and used it in the movie. There's this whole sequence you keep seeing, and it's based on what happened to me in Vegas that time a few years back.
The end of the hit series Sex Education is here with its fourth and final season. It gave topics like sex and queer identity a place to be discussed and represented, and curating that kind of intimacy is no easy task. But the intimacy coordinator for the series says it's a team effort all around.
But at first, I would love to just get a feel for how do you work with the director? Like when you get a script and you see that there is an intimate scene, where do you begin?
Yeah, so I would be given the scripts beforehand just to read through, and I would take out all of the moments of intimacy, and that could range from kissing, it could be nude moments in the shower or the bath, or it could be breastfeeding, giving birth, not just simulated sex or nudity. And then I would have all of that on a big document, and I would have a conversation with the various directors who are working those moments to hear their vision, and the producer as well. And then from that point, I'm then talking to the actors to find out what they're comfortable with, any kind of concerns or worries that they may have about those moments, and anything I can do or put in place before we rehearse as well. So that's the really early stages of the process.
Yeah, wonderful. And it seems to me that these moments are also their own characters. I mean, an intimacy scene with Otis who has trouble, as opposed to Eric, who is in some ways very free. Their characters are different, but also the way they move through the world is different. And would you talk about how you approach that?
Yeah, I guess on the intimacy wise, I think the writing is so clear. The writers team, they just make it so easy, and the way they collaborate with the actors as well to make sure those stories come from an authentic place for them as well. But then the intimacy will be different for each character. They'll have a different rhythm, they'll have a different tempo. Or my question would be to the artist, what do you think, if I was talking to Asa, I'd be like, what do you think Otis would be like at this point? What kind of position do you reckon we'll be finding here? Or also, what's the comedic value of it as well? What's funny?
Right. Well, I noticed because there's a breadth of scenes that I imagine you've worked on, and they range from incredibly emotional to very humorous. And is there a difference in the work that you do when you're approaching something that is say a funny scene? Like there's that montage with Otis trying to take photographs of himself to send to Maeve, and that's very funny. Would you talk a little bit about shooting that?
Yeah, I mean, for comedic scenes and more emotional moments for intimacy, the process stays the same. I guess all you really kind of feel is the atmosphere maybe in the room will be slightly different, and also the way we're looking at different positions or different rhythm, it will be slightly different, the way that's been directed as well. So, but yeah, for the nude, for the nude montage of I call it pube gate or something. He's shaving and he's trying to make sure that he gets the right picture, and but that process, it stays the same. It's even though he's by himself and he's doing that moment, it's still finding out what he feels comfortable in showing and doing, and what kind of shots are we thinking about. Yeah, so the process stays the same, but you're kind of doing just the check-ins on yourself as an actor rather than going, oh, am I okay to touch here and move here? It's about looking in within, basically.
You can watch The Advocate channel live by downloading our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. For The Advocate channel, I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist, and thank you for watching.